Hey guys, this is Tara Macklin popping in here to talk to you guys today about perfectionism. And for me at the time that I'm recording this, perfectionism, it kind of gets a hold of me a little bit with it being the holidays for me and trying to put on the perfect presentation. We tend to host at least some family during some part of the holiday season. So making sure that everything is in its place and as it should be so I don't have to worry about it later. Another thing is making sure that there's not only food that other people enjoy, but food that I know that I can eat, which as a PCOS woman can be a little bit of a tricky area because a lot of us have different eating styles that I'm one of those people that I don't want to ask other people to cater to what my needs are, but I want to also make sure that I'm not going to set myself up for failure and have things available for myself to eat. So I almost end up doing double duty, which can be a lot at the holiday season. So I've got some tips and tricks to kind of help you walk through perfectionism, whether it be for the holidays when, like I said, it kind of gets a hold of me a little bit more, or just all year long in general. And I can fall into this even at work where I want things done a certain way in a certain style, on a certain time frame. So trust me, perfectionism gets the best of us. And I'm going to kind of look down here at my notes here to make sure I'm getting all the little things that I want to say to you in this video here real quick. But I think the best place to start with perfectionism is understanding, where does your perfectionism stem from? Is it something where you are trying to basically make others happy with what you're doing? Whether it's some sort of trying to receive gratification in some sort of way, of someone commenting how well something is done or how beautiful something looks. You're looking for feedback and attention in some sort of way, shape, or form. You're looking to impress somebody. Maybe you're using this as a means of coping and trying to get everything detailed and in its place, and it's kind of your way of pushing harder things off to the side. So if you focus your attention on little details, then you don't have to worry about those things. Maybe you're just unhappy with yourself. And so trying to make everything else around you is a means of making up for what you feel that you lack in life. So whatever it is, dive in, do some deep thought as to what your source is, and that's going to help you kind of really do some work to get through this. And it might be on this deep dive that you may find that you need to sit down and meet with a counselor or just have someone really to kind of talk to and work through some of this out. That's okay while you're working on your perfectionism. It is perfectly normal to have someone to share this with and help you work on becoming the better you. So that way we're not angry when things aren't done to the very detail, right? Another piece to helping you with your perfectionism is being okay with mistakes. So, being perfect really isn't all that fun if you want to really get down to it, in the sense that it stresses us out. We got to have all these things, we get frazzled, and then when we don't get the response that we expect, then we get more frazzled. And I mean, it gets a little crazy for us mentally when you're trying to do things perfectly, right? Well, being okay with mistakes when we don't get things done perfectly is it's okay. In fact, it's part of the journey. And in my opinion, what I've learned is it actually makes things more fun. And this year alone, I've probably done more things imperfectly than perfectly. And I've actually felt a lot better in the sense that I've actually taken action. And that's another thing with perfectionists, is we tend to want to have all the things in one place and all put together before we go out and present it. I've definitely presented things, if you've watched any of my YouTube videos, I've done a lot more things imperfectly. If you've watched any of my cooking videos with my son, you know I can't control his silliness. And trust me, in all of my trying to pre-talk to him before we hop on a video, he still pulls something out that I have not been prepared for. So by no means, just enjoy the moment. It's going to be fun. There's a lot of times I'm kind of like, I don't know why he said that. He's being silly. It's that those, I don't even want to say that those are mistakes, but it's just part of the journey. Enjoy them, learn from them, grow from them, and move on, and be okay with just kind of putting out there something and putting things into motion, because you could always go back later and clean it up, and that's okay. Get the feedback, laugh at yourself, kind of take some notes, and go in and make the changes. It's easy peasy. I promise you, it'll feel a lot better kind of breaking things up into smaller pieces by just having done the things and going and cleaning up than it does to have it perfect and to record something 30 times and try to splice things together. It's just get it done and clean it up from there. It'll be fine. Don't dwell on any of your perceived shortcomings. So just because it isn't perfect by your standards doesn't mean that everyone else around you notices the things that you thought were imperfect, much less do they care. I mean, when we have family come over for the holidays, in my head, I have like this idea of having these wooden boards out and all this cheese laid out nicely and all these things. Well, always for the holidays, at some point, depending on the holiday, I have to go into work. So that means I have to trust other people to do the things, and the presentation isn't what I see in my head. And that's okay, because guess what? The people still eat the food all the same. It really doesn't matter if that detail was there. No one missed the wooden cutting board, and that's one less thing I had to clean. So we still used a cutting board. It just was served on a plastic one. Not a big deal. Again, no one really cared. And that's another thing, is trusting others to do the things. That's probably one of the things that also gets me frazzled during the holidays, is that I want to do all the things because I want it done my way, but then time runs out and I have to go to work. And so then I just have to trust the process. And usually I am like freaking out by the time that I go to work, and all my family is just laughing at me and telling me it's going to be okay and it's going to be just fine and the food's going to come out the same and it's going to be fine. Like, someone's having to just tell me it's going to be fine. Go to work. We got this. Trust the process is going to be done. Just because it's not done your way, be thankful that you didn't have to do the thing. That another thing with perfectionism is we try to do all the tasks and all the things and take on all the stuff because we don't trust others to do the things the way we want it done. Sometimes that isn't the important part of having it done the way we want it done. The important part is that it was done and you didn't have to do it. And that's, I know, something that I have to remind myself. If my husband's folded laundry in a way that I didn't want it folded, I didn't have to do it. It's done. Check it off the list. It's completed. So little things like that. Be okay with the fact of just letting somebody else do the things, and heaven forbid you actually ask for help. It doesn't have to look exactly perfect. As long as the presentation or the thing has been completed, the task is there, people have been fed, presents have been given, family made it to the gathering, your friends made it to the party, your project is done. So what if there was like a couple typos? I'm pretty sure you didn't get fired over it. Whatever it is, it's going to be okay because it was done and you got help. You are less stressed. So that's one of the big pieces. Letting go of the things you cannot control. So I think sometimes this one's really funny for me because there's literally nothing about my job that I have control of, other than when I maybe go to get things set up for an event, which even then sometimes that changes because someone comes in and changes something. I can't control when I leave. I can't control when I need to be there. I can't control what people need from me. There's literally nothing that I control. However, I can try to control the schedules. I can try to make the phone calls and get things set up. And all I can do is the things that I can do. And when you're a perfectionist, you want all the things to go your way in this very specific way, very specific timing. That's just not life. And we can try to control the things around us all we want. That's not how it works. And so at some point, you have to become okay with, again, the process of life and the things around you. And that's also, again, letting people to come in and help you, because it serves you at the end of the day. If you're not as high strung about all the things you need to do, you're going to be in a lot better headspace if you accept the help and sometimes just accept the way things are around you and just handle the things that you can be in control of and the things that you can manage. A lot of it, again, it's just the journey. It's the process. It's going to be okay. And I feel like, again, at the end of the day, take that step back. Look at the bigger picture. When you sit down and think of a holiday, what do you focus on? And if it's the table setting, and if it's the way that the food was presented, and if it was the ribbon on the packages, or if it was standing in front of the room and your PowerPoint didn't click appropriately with the appropriate animation at the appropriate point in time with the correct volume, you really think that's what the part is that everybody else remembers? I'm going to probably go with no. Now, maybe in the presentation, you might have someone that teases you about something you made a mistake on, and that's okay. And maybe you won't take it the same way that they did. And that's also okay, because they're probably just trying to get you to laugh and you're like so wound tight that you can't laugh. But at the end of the day, it isn't your failures that other people remember about the holiday. They remember the time that they spent with you. They remember what you presented in your presentation. They remember your content. They remember that you found some interesting stats on the subject. They remember maybe the really tasty cheese that you went up and bought somewhere and they can't find it anywhere and they want to know where you got it at. They remember the silly stories that you guys were talking about. Whatever your situation is in which you're really firing on all cylinders with your perfectionism, what other people remember, that needs to be the bigger picture that you focus on at the end of the day. I guarantee you, 10 years from now, no one's going to remember that you had the napkin facing the wrong way on the table. I promise you that no one again missed that wooden board to put the cheese on with the meat and the crackers and the olives. No one remembers that part. They might remember the cheese, but they won't remember the board. So again, we're looking at the bigger picture. Really focus on the bigger picture. Those little details don't make the memories. It's you being nice and relaxed and having fun and enjoying memories and talking with people and bringing the content out to the people to serve the people. If that's what you're up there doing on a bigger spectrum with a presentation or something like that. It doesn't always have to be holidays. That's just where my mind's at. But at the end of the day, it's what you give and what you get back from other people. Those are the bigger pictures. So focus on those things. And I promise you, the perfectionism, you're going to start seeing it just melt away. I know over the years, I've really grown in this area. I still have some work to do. I will not lie that I'm still a control freak in certain things in my life. In fact, my boss will still laugh if I actually told him that I was recovering from it, because there's some days that he'd probably tell you that I'm not. But at the end of the day, I do feel like I've grown in this area. This is something that I've improved in just even in the last 5 years, especially in being married and just having my husband tell me that certain things just don't matter. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. He wants me to relax and come hang out with him and my son, because that's more important to them than watching me sweep the floor and make sure that the floor is clean while they're watching the Chiefs game. They want me to come out and watch that game with them, right? It's the time we spend together, not the getting the things done on the list. So at the end of the day, hopefully you guys have found this video helpful. Thank you for your time today. I know this is a little bit longer of a video. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you guys are clicking subscribe up above and clicking on the bell so that way you get notified every time I put up a new video. Hopefully you guys have found this helpful. Also take a look below if I've got resources down there that may help serve you in some sort of way. I got some great information on ULA, which is it's the course in the system that has actually helped me work on finding more focus in the things that are more important in life rather than all these little details of perfectionism. So it may help you as well. So go take a look at that information below, and I'll talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.